Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Raya Reads, as you guys might be updated. And today, Raya, Raya, I wanted to do another video because I've not done a video in a long time. It's not a long time because I posted a video a few days ago on, not a few days, a few weeks ago on what was it, the 12-hour study routine. But that video I filmed almost, I feel like I want to say almost 2 to 2.5 months ago. So I filmed that video a lot of days ago, and I think I posted it like 4 weeks or like a month or 3 weeks ago. So I wanted to do another video. I want to do another discussion video now that I've got all of the books with me, because today's discussion video we are going to do on Caraval as well as once once Upon a Broken Heart, which these two series we're going to talk about, which are basically we're going to talk about the complete works of the queen, who that is the queen, that is Stephanie Garber. And we're going to talk about her writing, and we're going to talk about how much I love her. And this is going to take us a long time, at least 40 minutes. So I'm holding on my list only. But again, this is going to be like a normal discussion videos. I am not going to be editing any part of it because I want it to be raw. I want the emotions to look, and also it just gets easier for me to make these discussion videos where I just don't edit anything and you guys just see me as I am, and I don't have to watch the whole video voraciously and very closely to look at details. So that's why we're doing this. So yeah, I'm very excited. Let's start up. Okay. So I read Caraval this year only. I read it in want to say May, and when I read it in May, I read Caraval. Then I read Legendary while I was on a car ride to Digha. So we were going to Digha, and I read Legendary, and then I think I finished Legendary on that car ride, and when we reached by that, like, no, okay, I started on the car ride, and I finished it when I was in Digha. And then the whole time in Digha, I was obsessed with Legend and Julian and Scarlett and Tella, Donatella, and I was obsessed with them. And then I think on the third day of our trip, I started with Finale, read it on the car ride back, and I think when we reached after another half hour, I finished with Finale, and I finished with the Caraval series. And then I think it was after my birthday that I had gotten the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I read that one. And yeah, I completely demolished it. I think I read all the three books in 4 days, if not four, I think it was five. So I think I read those books in five days, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, it was, I think, 14 to 19th that I read it. And oh my guys, I mean, like, do I really need to say? It's an amazing series, but we're gonna go in depth with why I love it so much. And then a few days ago, I don't know, 5th November, I think. No, when did it come out? And sometime in November it came out. It's 25th November, I think. The Spectacular came out, and then I bought it, and then I read it on 15th December. Just the day I started, I finished it that day only, and I was so happy. And now I have all of the books with me because I had for a long time, because I read Caraval online, because the price, I couldn't find it, and if the price was very high, where I found it the price was very high. So I was looking for it at a lower price, and then I found it, and I was so happy. And I have all of the books with me now, and we're going to talk about all of the books today in this video, and that's going to be it. So let us start with Caraval. When I was reading Caraval, I had already read Harry Potter. I had already read Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows. So I had read fantasy. But no, actually, you know what? I'll tell you, Caraval is not the normal fantasy book. If you want a very fantasy adventure journey kind of book, it's like if you want like a journey-esque book, I would definitely recommend you to read Once Upon a Broken Heart more, because I read Caraval because I wanted to read Once Upon. I watched Haley. If you guys know who Haley Fam is, if you're from the book community, booktube community, then I'm pretty sure you'll know who Haley Fam, Destiny Sidwell, and Sarah Caroli are. But if you don't, let me just tell you that Haley Fam is a very huge book content creator whom a lot of people watch, including me. And I watched her videos, and she did not like Caraval that much, but she loved Once Upon a Broken Heart. So was reading, and she said that like you don't have to read Caraval to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, but if you read Once Upon a Broken Heart, you know what happens at in finale. So it gets spoiled completely. So she said that like if I were to tell you, you should just read Once Upon a Broken Heart, but like obviously reading Caraval will give you a much more exquisite experience. So I wanted that experience, which was why I read Caraval, and I'm so glad I did, because somehow I disagreed. If you're want to go for a journey esque fantasy, definitely go for Once Upon a Broken Heart, because Caraval is unlike any book I've read in my life. I think Stephanie Garber just excelled in her first book only. First book on only, because like the Caraval is okay. Let me just show you the cover. It says on the top, "Remember, it's only a game." And if you've from now on, everything that I'm gonna say are going to include spoilers. Okay, I just need to tell you that. So before I go on in that, I'll just tell you that Caraval is a story about two sisters. The bigger sister is Scarlett, and the smaller sister Donatella. Scarlett is the responsible, Donatella is the irresponsible one. Very stereotypical, I know, but it's fine. And basically what happens is that they live in an island where their father is very controlling and everything, so he doesn't let them date or doesn't let them go around without his permission anywhere. He keeps them under his control. And one day Scarlett finds her sister with this boy called Julian, who is a sailor, and she feels very suspicious, but she wants to show her sister this letter that she got from Legend, who is the master of the circus of Caraval. So Caraval is a circus. She tells Stella that, see, I've been, and it is shown that Scarlett writes letter to this Caraval master that she really wants to go to this circus, she really wants to go there, and never gets a reply back for 7 years. And then the seventh year, she writes that I don't want to see you now because I'm getting married. I have this Count de Nicholas, and he is going to marry me, and I don't want to encounter you now. And that is when obviously Legend writes back, and he says that I invite you and your sister to Caraval to play the game of Caraval, which is all just a game, and that is the best circus they have in town. Not town, they have in the whole country, continent, world. So Scarlett shows Stella that, and Stella is like, you should go, we should go, come on. And Stella is like, we should go, and Scarlett is like, I don't want to go because I'm getting married and I'm gonna get married and I don't want to do all of this stuff. And Stella is like, this is the only chance to get free, and she's like, I don't want to go, and like that's a continuous like fight between them, when Julian, the sailor, comes out and says, you know what, I can take you. And there on we start the story. They don't agree, and then Julian and Stella kidnap Scarlett, and then on everything is beauty itself. So I don't know how well I explained that, but that is the main plot line that I think you'll want to know. Now, another thing. Okay, now we'll get into the spoilers. Okay, so when I was reading the book, I took the "remember it's only a game" thing lightly, because I understood that like it was a very nice catchphrase, a nice little. It sounded very nice as well. That like now remember it's all a game. It's like like it's like an arcade. Something fun is going to happen. It's a hint to that. I felt like, but when you read the book, you'll realize how much this line explains about the whole freaking book, because the whole of Caraval, at the end, your mouth will be on the floor. violence. I hate it so much. Going on. I hate. Love you, Didai. Anyway, your mouth, and I was gonna say, your mouth will be on the floor, and the ending is okay. But let's talk about the middle, the beginning. So I read it, and I was like, "What is going on? What is happening? क्या हो रहा है? What की होती है?" I was like, I was very confused because like they okay, what they did was that they kidnapped Scarlett. They took her to that place, and then they are continuously. Obviously, I loved Julian and Scarlett's relationship because they were like, it was really cute. It was like enemies to lovers. I think I never. No one explains their relationship as enemies to lovers with that trope, but it was definitely enemies to lovers. Okay, because Scarlett was very much suspicious of Julian. She was like, if you're up to something with my sister, just tell me already. I'm just going to slap you on the face very hard, and. Julian is like, come on, lady, come on. Like, don't be so touchy, don't be so emotional with me, okay? I'm not the sentimental type. He's continuously saying that. There was one scene that everyone likes, which is where when they arrive at Caraval and they're in the circus and everything, and they are in the room of their hotel, and Julian appears. No, okay. So Scarlett, before that, Scarlett had lost her earrings in a like mess in a fight kind of. She had lost, not in a fight, but in a like situation. She had lost her earrings that she loved very much because I believe it's been a long time since I read the books, but I believe her Tella gave it to, no, her mother gave it to her, something like that. Her mother or someone gave it to her, so she feels really sorry. And I should tell you that Tella and Scarlett's mother is assumed, presumably dead somehow. So yeah, and ever since she died, her mother died, the father became that very cruel kind of person. So basically what happened was that that earring was lost. Okay, so that earring was lost, and because of that earring getting lost, Scarlett was really sad the whole day. She was just lying in her bed. She didn't feel like getting up and like doing anything. And there here comes Julian entering out of the wardrobe somehow, and he's very badly hurt. And Scarlett is like, "What's wrong with you? What happened? Like, Julian, why are you like this?" And he says, uh Crimson, like he called her Crimson, Scarlet Crimson, that's like a nickname thing. These are he gives her her earrings, and Scarlet's like, did you get hurt trying to find these and take this bring these for me? And Julian was like, oh, don't take me so seriously, I just found them lying on the floor, that was why I took them, I saw an opportunity, I took it, I did not fight, this was all my doing, this was because of something that happened with me, not because I wanted to be a savior or something and like get you your earrings, that was not the purpose. And he says those things, but I'll give you a spoiler. Yes, why is my face distorting so much? Anyway, I'll give you a spoiler. That is what he did. Yeah, he fought his way to get Scarlet's earrings, and very, very romantic, I know. And those little things will happen, and you'll feel like you're gliding on like a posh carpet or something, because like I'm sorry. Juliet and Scarlet throughout the whole books will be so cute, because Scarlet also has this like fortune telling thing. It's kind of like that. What was the movie? There was a movie, something where there was this fortune telling. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but this will be like Scarlet's doing that. It's like, ow, sorry. This is bugging me. Anyway, there was this thing. Basically, Scarlett will go into with like a fortune teller, and the fortune teller will tell her very worry stuff that she should be careful about this and that. And she's like, "What can these be mean?" The Heart of Black. And then she will be introduced to a character whose name will be Dante. If you know, you know. And yeah, there will be a whole huge thing about that. It's basically, it's just a huge plot line of a sister getting trapped in a circus where she's led to believe that everything and everyone she is getting to know is a game. They are not real. They don't actually exist as the characters they're playing, and they're fake. And at the end, what basically happens is she realizes that her sister tricked her, so that her father was also tricked with, along with, what's her name, Scarlett. I feel tired from talking too much. Okay, so that her sister tricked her as well with her father, but she knew that Scarlett will not be able to act that well. So that her father was tricked. She tricked her sister also, and at the end they will realize that everything was a game, that her sister had planned this whole game, and that Stella had been writing letters to Legend way before Scarlett even, and Stella had been writing that I want to go to Caraval so much, and because of her request to Legend of redemption, of like redemption for Legend, because Legend was getting evil and all of that. And what I feel about all of that was, okay, so let me talk about the characters a bit more, because in this story, I love Scarlett's character a lot, because what Scarlett is she's just very confused, because she got dropped in this world of Caraval, and she doesn't know where to go from here, because like the only person she has is Julian, whom she despises. So like, what is she supposed to do? And then she gets led into this clockwork place, where also she's spooked, because she gets a dress that changes its fabric. And like you think of it from our perspective only. How creepy is that? Imagine I'm wearing this t-shirt, and when I get sad it will change into a blue color, when I get happy it will change into yellow. So like that kind of thing happens to her, and she gets creeped off by that as well. She's creeped out by Julian, because he's like, it's too forward. I mean, she's like, okay, can we just like, bye. So yeah, that's one thing. And then all of these people are so confident about what they want to do, because they're actually playing the game. They've come here to actually play the game. And Scarlett, on the other hand, she's like, what is going on? It was very exciting to read all of this from Scarlett's point of view, because like I feel like if we read it from Donatella's point of view, then it would have gotten like just very not suspenseful. But like, because we read it from Scarlett's point of view, we were in the suspense also. So we were going along with her on this journey, and look, it's not like a journey. It's like a very small amount of time. It's like, I think it's how many days? 7 days. I think Caraval goes on for 7 days or something. Uh, but yeah, that happens, and then where I think the Julian and Scarlett thing became like a thing was when, like, officially a thing was when Julian took a day of gave up a day of his life for her. So what happened basically was that this girl there is called Aiko, and she persuades Scarlett to buy a dress that was very beautiful. And in Caraval, you don't pay money; you pay through giving up your secrets, your promises, and things like a day of your life. It's very magical. So things like giving up a day of your life. So basically, this thing happens where you have to give up a day of your life, and she's like, okay, so I can give up a day of her life, that's fine. So Scarlett gives up 2 days, because the price of that dress was 2 days. And when she does that, uh and by this point Caraval is ending in 2 days only. So by when this happens, Scarlett tends to believe that the 2 days will be taken from her at the end of her life. So at the end from her life existence, 2 days will be minused. But then the shopkeeper is like, huh? Who does that? How do I know how many days you're surviving? Am I the holder of destiny or something? What have you thought of me, a god? I can't do that. I'm taking 2 days from your life now. And she's like, now how will you take, I mean, it's not ending already, is it? And basically that is what it is, yeah. Because she gets like very groggily asleep. Suddenly she's feeling very tired, and she realizes that the 2 days will be taken right now, like 2 days of her life, from today to tomorrow, the day after that she will be basically her heart will stop working, and after those 2 days she'll wake up again. And that might sound silly, but like, okay, fine, it's a fantasy. Stop it, stop judging, stop it. And I really, I love the magic system in these books. And basically that happens, her heart stops working, and for 2 days. But when she gets back, she's very, very, very sleepy, she's about to fall asleep. And Julian finds her, and he's like, what did you do? And she says what I did. And Scarlet doesn't know how, but Julian Five figures out the solution, and he does a little bit of blood magic and something like that. And he manages to take, because in 2 days Caraval is ending, and there are a lot of things which have not ended. There are a lot of strings that need to be twisted. There are a lot of things that need to be concluded. Because of that, the, he takes 1 day of life, from 1 day of he gives 1 day of his life as a sacrifice for Scarlet. And that is so thoughtful. That is so thoughtful. And Scarlett is very much touched by that, and after that their romance kind of begins. So moving on to the second book in this, okay, so we end Caraval with Scarlett being betrayed by her sister, feeling betrayed by her sister and Julian, at being lied about everything. But like, she kind of patches things up with Julian anyway, and we see that at the end of Caraval, this mysterious person gives Donatella a letter which says, let me see what it says. Let me see once. Dearest Donatella, congratulations on escaping your father and surviving Caraval. I am pleased our plan worked, although I had no doubt you will survive the game. I'm sure your mother will be quite proud, and I believe you should be able to see her soon. But first, you must keep up with your end of our bargain. I hope you haven't forgotten what you owe me in exchange for all that I've shared with you. I plan on collecting my payment very soon. Truly yours, a friend. And with this letter, basically, this is a mysterious person that Donatella kind of dealt with for something that she wanted. And when she dealt all of this and tried to get her way with all of this, now she needs to give something to him as well, which she doesn't want to do. But like, she doesn't want to do that. But like, we end Caraval on that note. After that, we start with Legendary. What happens in Legendary is that after, okay, let me just tell you what happens. After being swept up in the magical world of Caraval, Donatella Ragnar has finally escaped her father and saved her sister Scarlet. Yeah, that also happened. Somewhere along the way, her father came in and they escaped and tricked the father, and he left. And they realized that this Nicholas D'Arcy is also not a very good person. They thought that he was not a very good person, but even that was a game. So I'm just telling you, everything is a game. Everything in Caraval is a game. Everything that you're reading, everything that you're listening to is a game. And I've given you a huge spoiler now. So every time you're gonna read a page, you're gonna have to realize that this is not real. This is not actually happening. This is just what they're making. It's like the Truman Show. It's almost like the Truman Show. So it says, uh after being swept up in the magical world of Caraval, Donatella Ragnar has finally escaped her father and saved her sister Scarlet from a disastrous arranged marriage. The girls should be celebrating, but Tella isn't yet free. She made a desperate bargain with a mysterious criminal, and what Tella owes him, no one has ever been able to deliver. Caraval Master Legend's true name. The only chance of uncovering Legend's identity is to win Caraval, so Tella throws herself into the legendary competition once more. Caraval has always demanded bravery, cunning, and sacrifice, but now the game is asking for more. If Tala doesn't fulfill her bargain and deliver Legend's name, she'll lose everything she cares about, maybe even her life. But if she wins, on a brighter note, if she wins, Legend and Caraval will be destroyed forever. You getting what I'm talking about? This is okay. So the first book was in uh Scarlet's point of view, and the second one is in Donatella's point of view, and it was so funny to read it from Donatella's point of view, because I'm telling you, Donatella is just an intrinsic, for like, just a freaking teenager. She's so, like, she follows all of her deep intrinsic thoughts. Like, if her intuitive tells her to do something, she'll do it. She has no problem. And it's so funny throughout the book, all of the time, all of the little, like little things she said, God's teeth and things like that. So funny. And basically, we see two. At first, they were with, I think. Okay, so the sequel to Caraval, we get to see a lot more with with the girl. What's the name? Okay, with Tella, and we get to see what Donatella is really made of, because everyone says that their mother, Scarlett and Tella's mother, is very much it looks very much like Scarlett. Scarlett looks very much like their mother, but Tella is the real person who is like symbolizing their mother. Okay. So we get to see a lot more on Donatella, and we get to see. Okay, so there were like almost like I think 6, 7 love interests for Tella. There was a friend. Then we get to see a person called Jax. Then there is Dante. Then there was a very fantasizing like legend, and then I think there was the other. There was one more person. Okay, these four were the constant ones. The friend, Jax, then this this person, this Dante, or फिर after that legend. So these four were the constant ones. তারপরে yeah, after that we see that these actually there are only two love interests, because Jax and the friend are the same people, and Dante and Legend are also the same people, and that is very shocking because they're like, what? Hold on, what just happened? And we see that throughout the book, that, and it's so funny because like Tella is suspecting all of the time that this must be Legend, this guy, and she also suspects Dante at one point, and then leaves that suspicion and moves on, and then she has to come back and be like, okay, yeah, well, it was Dante. Guess what? And the writing, the Stephanie Garber's writing just blows me off the hook, because she writes so well and so gracefully and so elegantly. The whole book of Legendary was filled with magic and love and like cherishing my soul, and I loved it so much. And the little the plot twist as well in the end, when Tella finds out that Dante is Legend, her realization, how she was struck, and then how she completely betrayed Jax is. And like people ask me all the time, why don't I be like no, people don't ask me, but like there are a lot of people who ask this, that not me, but a lot of people who ask this, that why don't you like Jax and and Tella more than Legend and Tella, because their compatibility was much better. And I'm like, I don't think so. I really do not think that Jax and Tella's compatibility was better. And I think that is because I am a very much of canon person. Whatever is canon, I'll follow that. I have no like thoughts of my own. So I just believe whatever is canon. And because in this book Dante and their story was canon, I believe that only. So, and I felt that those canon little things that like authors like to sprinkle when they are writing the love triangle, is that they like to sprinkle. Anyway, so we end on that note on the second book, that we realize that the legend is Dante, and then that she betrays Jax, and all of these things was confusing my brain. And then we go on with finale, which is the third book in the series, and not the best book. The best book is definitely Caraval, but in this book, the first book we get from Scarlett's point of view. The second book we get from Donatella's point of view. So जाओ जाओ না বন্ধ করো না ঠিক করে বন্ধ করো As I was saying, the first book we get from Scarlett's point of view, the second book we get from Tella's point of view, the third book we get from Scarlett and Donatello's point of view. That was so amazing that the author did that, because like I hate it when they're like, when they don't make the symmetry happen, and they did make the symmetry happen. And this says, it's been 2 months since the fates were freed from a deck of cards. Right, the fates were freed, by the way. Okay, so I just completely missed out on that point. There is this thing called fates, who lived in a set of cards that belonged to the mother of these two, and basically they managed, because by denying Jax and at the same time kind of giving out to Jax, they kind of managed to set the fates free, and now there is a lot of danger. So yeah, it's been 2 months since the fates were freed from a deck of cards, 2 months since Legend claimed the throne for his own, and 2 months since Stella discovered the boy she fell in love with doesn't really exist. With lives, empires, and hearts hanging in the balance, Stella must decide if she's going to trust Legend or a former enemy. After uncovering a secret that upends her life, Scarlet will need to do the impossible, and Legend has a choice to make that will forever change and define him. Caraval is over, but perhaps the greatest game of all has begun. There are no spectators this time, only those who will win and those who will lose everything. Welcome to finale. All games must come to an end. Ooh, woo! And this was amazing. I mean, we read the book and we finished it, and that is what it matters on. Basically, what happens is that both of these sisters are now struggling with their love lives very much, and at the same time they're struggling with saving the city. There are fates running about who are killing people and completely destroying and making the city in wrecks, which was what they did before, which was why they were trapped in cars. And now Donatella is very much chasing after Legend, and she finds out the secret about him, that she basically, Legend goes to visit the witch, of a little witch who created Legend, and what he does is horrifying. We are not going to talk about that scene, but he visits the witch, and I'll tell you, he kills her, because you don't want to know the truth of what he does there. But yeah, that happens, and if you know, you know. And then Tella is very mad at Legend, because she realizes that Legend is a murderer after that Legend has killed people. And then Tella talks to Legend, and then they are obviously in a very crumbling relationship. Scarlet gets trapped with the the fate, with whom the main fate, the god wala fate, the fate who was on with the master fate, who was in a relationship with their mother, and their mother had been the one who had trapped them. So how, that was a very huge thing that had happened, and it's very sad. And that fate only killed their mother, and that whole thing, them discovering all of that and her getting trapped part, was very sad. But Julian was by her side. In her mind, Julian was by her side, and all of that happened, and it was so heart wrecking, and then they heart wrenching, and then they try all of the others, Dante, Julian, Tella, and Aiko, and all of those. There was another Jova, something her name was. She, all of them were trying to sum up with a plan to save Scarlet, and then they did actually sum up with that plan. And that will be so amazing, because why, the reason why the fate god was actually wanting Scarlet for himself, because Scarlet's father was the fate god, because they had an affair, the mother, and so because of all of that, so because of all of that, this whole thing came in a circle, and it ended with all of them figuring out the love life. But at the end, there was this huge plot twist of what, because Julian and Scarlet were all right, they had joined and all of that was fine, but Legend and Stella was not fine, because to save Scarlet, Stella had put herself in a compromising position by allowing Jax to make her forget about Legend, the man she truly loved, and love Jax instead. But the main plot of the story is that you cannot force love. So what happens is that Tella does not love Jax, because there was this another whole thing in Legendary where, okay, I'm just confusing you a lot, but there was another this whole thing in Legendary where there was a thing called, because Jax is the king of the fate, the Prince of Hearts. So what the Prince of Hearts basically does is that the Prince of Hearts is the fate who uh what do you say? Okay, so the Prince of Hearts is the fate who never falls in love but can break a lot of hearts and can kill people by kissing them. So, but he will not the person, the one person whom he will find one day, and he will kiss her, and when he kisses her, that person will not die because that person is his or her true love. And when Jax kissed Tella, she did not die, which is why which was why Jax realized, because before that his heart was not beating. Before that his heart did not beat. But that was when Jax realized that, oh, Tella is my true love, so he wanted Tella for himself. So he forced Tella to fall in love with him, and Tella did, but it was not love. It was more like infatuation, more like an obsession type of thing. And when this happened, Tara was supposed to forget about Legend, but it just shows that true love has so much power that she did not. And when Legend came in front of her, she recognized him and she fought with her mind, not fighted. She fought with her mind to let go of the magic of Jax and let herself go and run free with Legend. And because Legend did that, because Legend started to truly love someone would be the day when Legend lost his immortality. Before that, he was immortal, but when he did, I don't believe in immortal, but that's fine. But before that, he was immortal, but the day he will start loving Tella, that whole immortality will vanish, and Legend decided to love Tella instead of being immortal, and that happened, and then they rejoined, and then they were happy. It was a happy ending, and it ended with Scarlet being crowned the princess, and Tella and them being very happy, and Julian also, and it was so cute. And then Spectacular came out in this, and Spectacular is a very short novella, and it's a very fun novella. Basically, it's Great Holiday Eve. Scarlet Dragna is planning a spectacular holiday celebration for the city. Donatella is searching for the perfect gift. Julian is looking ridiculously handsome in green, and Legend. Well, sadly, Legend is not a fan of the Great Holiday. Tella is hoping her perfect gift will change his mind. Unfortunately, she hasn't found this perfect gift just yet, but it is Great Holiday Eve. Surely there's some holiday magic swirling around. Welcome back to the world of Caraval, where even holidays are not as they seem. And yeah, that was what it was. And then they it's just it's a very small, short, silly little novella, but it filled my heart, and there are so many beautiful like pictures, so many of them. So many. It's just beautiful, and I think you should see it for yourself. But like, Stephanie Gabo, this is going to be a two-part video. Okay, I'm so sorry to say, tell you guys, this is going to be a two-part video. I'm going to post the Once Upon a Broken Heart version of this sometime very soon. But this was my version of what I felt like Caraval was. It's very close to my heart, and I talked really fast in this video because like I needed to finish it within like 40 minutes because I don't want to have to suffer that much while listening to me. And so that was what it was. That was what I thought about Caraval and this whole trilogy. And now there's a fourth book as well, so this whole novella trilogy kind of thing. We're going to post about Once Upon a Broken Heart quite soon. And yeah, that was this video. Goodbye.